Hello, everyone. I had to find an alternate way to come live today, so I'm going to wait to see if you guys can even hear me. I know it's a little odd, but I had to come in from my computer. Facebook must be updating all kinds of stuff because my phone app did not know that I was fit and fat. So we're here. We'll see how it goes. I think I see guys are starting to come in now. Well, someone let me know that okay, good. Thank you, Suzette. I appreciate that. So I had all my notes arranged, and now that I'm doing it a little different, I've got to move my notes around. I actually planned some really cool information for you guys today. So I want to talk about the 3 reasons why we're not losing weight. And let me get my notes over here. Actually, it'll be a lot better for me if I do it from here. The very first one is indecision. So Kathy and I, we were together yesterday. We were podcasting for all of you guys. This podcast is going to be coming out probably in about 4 weeks from now. And it goes a lot deeper into making a decision. Not like a lot of you know that episode 96, I talk really hardcore on losing 100 pounds of fit and fat about making a decision. This one, like the reasons why we don't and what gets in our way. This one is really about when do you make a decision. So the thing that I had covered in there was that I make decisions when I feel about like 40 to 50, well, usually when I'm about half sure it's the right one, then I just go. I don't sit around. I do not like pretend that there's a better option out there. I don't do any of that because weight loss, whatever goal you have, but particularly for weight loss, what I see is one of the biggest blockers for you guys is you sitting around and overthinking things and thinking that there's a perfect time to start. There's a perfect diet to follow. There's a better option for this meal. There's all these things. You spend so much time, like, I swear to God, am I full or not? Am I hungry or not? And you sit and you think and you wonder why dieting seems so hard. It's because you're not making damn decisions. Decisions have to be made in order to lose weight, and they need to be made fast. You do not get to sit and waller. Like if somebody says we're going out to eat, the decision should be like that. It shouldn't be like, well, I don't know. I didn't have it on my plan. Let me think about this. Indecision, costing you weight loss. The longer you sit and try to negotiate to break your plan, guess what? You up the opportunity to break your plan. You have to get better, faster at just making a decision and going all in on it. It's really important. Especially for those of you who are sitting on the sidelines. I was talking about this with the groupies the other day. I had sent out this message and saying, I don't know if you're not taking my free training this month, you for sure should be. All of you, pnptribe.com. If you get on the wait list, you will get an email that has a link to all the free training that's going on this month. One of the videos that I just released, it talks about like, if you're sitting around and not getting results, it's because you're not deciding to do something. And you're not deciding to do something about it because you're afraid of failure. You're afraid it won't work. You're afraid you'll spend some money. You're afraid of all these other things. It's like, that's bullshit. Quit delaying your results because you're afraid. Just start fucking something and do it. Get good at starting things and doing things. Quit getting good at sitting around wringing your hands, being scared shitless and wondering why your dreams don't come true. You cannot practice that behavior and expect to actually lose weight. So number 2, reason why weight loss is all stalled out. It goes to you're having an identity crisis. You only think about who you are instead of who you want to be. I see this all the time. I have people that talk to me before they want to join the tribe, and they're just like, oh, but I've never been able to do it before. I'm such a failure. That diet I did in 82, I still remember regaining my 50 pounds. I'm like, there is an identity crisis going on here. The only thing that you're doing is thinking about the person you don't want to be. And if you're only going to think about the person you don't want to be, guess what? You turn into the person you don't want to be. You stay the person you are. If you want to lose weight, you have to be invested in at least thinking about who you want to be as much as you're willing to invest your time in thinking about who you don't want to be. Now, I want you to go all the way over to the other side. Here's the thing. Y'all are, well, I'm protecting myself by sitting here thinking my thoughts in the shitter. No, you're not. You're protecting nothing. You feel miserable now. I guarantee you thinking about how all the things that you've not done in your life is not helping you by any stretch of the imagination. So do not tell me that that's somehow protecting you from failing one more time. I always tell my girls, like, if you're so worried about that, then just run out the scenario. What the hell's going to happen if you like fail one more time? Like nothing. Exactly what you have now is what will happen. That is the motivation to keep on trying, guys. Keep on leveling up. Keep moving forward. You have to do that. I am willing to believe all the time that there's an answer for me. It is such a better way to look at it than to sit around going, I'm probably hopeless. I'm the one, too old, Corinne. Oh my God, I got the Hashimoto's. Like, whatever it is, snap out of it. Quit blaming all of that and think about the person you want to be. What could you be doing today to get there? What's your next best decision? Oh, hey, do I have a glass of water on my desk? No, I probably should go get one of those bad boys. Like, think about what you want more than what you don't want. Seriously, that identity crisis has to end. And if all you think about is that you are going to fail, you are in an identity crisis mode. That means this shit needs to get fixed now. And you all think that it's like, I'm going to backtrack. I'm going to fall off the wagon. I'm going to do these things. So what? If you do, then just get back on track. Quit making it such a big fucking deal. The worst thing that happens if you backtrack is you get aware that you're doing it and you start back. But when you think a backtrack, when you think falling off the wagon or something, it says something about who you are. Like, I'm a failure. I can't do things. That's the problem. It's not starting. It's that bullshit that you put on yourself is the problem. If you're off the wagon, if you're backtracking, the problem isn't you. The problem is you're not doing something. Are you drinking your water? Are you getting your sleep? Are you sitting around eating when you're not hungry? Just identify what's not happening with my basics and then say, like, okay, how can I fix that? What could I do today? What is something easy to get me moving in the right direction? Quit trying to fucking overhaul things, because when you're sitting there in catastrophe mode, like, oh my God, like, I'm off the wagon and I'm so far away from who I used to be. It's like, no, you're not. You're one decision away from who you used to be. If you want to like eat to satisfy the next meal and make a good choice, guess what? That next meal's coming. That decision's sitting right there. The opportunity to be the old you is just like, boom, right here. But if you're in an identity crisis and all you're thinking about that this means you're going to fail again like the last time, and this means this and this means that, no, you won't stop with 3 bites left on your plate. Like, we make it all such a big ass deal, and it's not that big a deal. It's literally like, okay, the next meal is here. Time to leave 3 bites behind. It's better than me just sitting there mindlessly eating. Agree today that you will not hold this phone and eat at the same time. This gets set down, face down. Agree that today all notifications come off the phone so that you are not tempted to even give this breath while you're eating. If some of you would pay attention to what you're eating as much as you pay attention to your phone while you eat, you'd have 20 pounds off of your ass since January with no other change than that. If that was the only thing you did. But if you're in an identity crisis and you think that, like, oh my God, I got to do all, like, my diet has to be hard, Corinne. I can't do your basics. I can't keep it simple. My shit's got to be legit, straight dope, deprivation. I don't know where my willpower is. If it's all that stuff, you won't even come up with a simple solution. You won't even be like, oh, I notice I overeat every time I'm sitting there like this. On the Facebook while I'm like shoveling it in like a crazy person. I love it when my clients tell me they can't find that too. I'm like, oh, I can help you find it too. If you want to be able to figure out if you're truly hungry, go get a big plate of broccoli. Sit down. If it sounds good, you're hungry. If it doesn't, guess what? You're emotionally hungry. Now, I'm not saying to lose weight, you got to be always eating some broccoli. But when you think like, maybe I'm hungry, no, do not eat. Say like, if I think I'm hungry, it's not time. It's just not time. I can wait 15 more minutes to figure this out. My dreams, my goals, and my life are worth 15 minutes of patience to figure out if I'm hungry or not. And I guarantee you I won't die or get pregnant during it. I'm going to roll this morning, y'all. Just saying. I hadn't even had an energy drink. All right, the last one, the reason why you're not losing weight and it's taking you forever is because of your internal gut. Now, this is not the probiotic talk. This is not the cut out your gluten and all that kind of bullshit. That's not the kind of internal gut shit I'm talking about. Here's what I'm talking about. You do, this is my legit notes. This is, I swear to God, even when I make notes for myself, I crack myself up. You do shit that doesn't feel sustainable and miserable. It fails the first time the scale doesn't move down. Like, this is our internal gut. You know that what you're fixing to do doesn't feel right. I can't see myself eating this way for the rest of my life, so I'm just going to eat this way for my first 50 or 100 pounds, and then I'm going to let myself figure it out later. Guys, the worst damn time to figure out how to keep weight off is after you've lost it. You need to figure it out on the way down. You wait until the end. Why don't you just say like, hey, I'd like to have about 5% odds of keeping this weight off? Because that's what happens. And most of you will never get to the end because you're doing shit that goes against everything you believe on the inside or everything that you want for your life on the inside. And you'll wonder why you can't stick to a diet. When you're setting your shit up so that you're miserable and you hate it and you never look forward to it and it's a pain shawl all the time, you're not going to be wanting to choose it when it's hard. When life's happening to you, you do not need to be so tapped out with your diet that you have nothing left for your life. Because I'm going to tell you, life will always win. So you have got to figure out how to enjoy weight loss while you work on your life. That's the magic of losing weight. That's what I teach. It is not finding, like, for everybody that has emailed us, because Tribe's open in April 3rd, for every single person that's emailed and said, I want to know, am I going to get a meal plan and am I going to get a shopping list? No, you're not. There's the answer. Please never ask this question again. I do not give meal plans out and I do not give shopping lists out. You know what I do? I expect you to be a grown-ass fucking woman and make that shit yourself. If you're going to lose weight for the last time, you got to know how to make a damn grocery list. You got to know how to go to the grocery store, buy shit, and don't buy the M&Ms because they're not on the list. You also need to be able to make your own plan based upon the shit that works for you. That's grown-ass woman weight loss. All this other shit with plans and all this other stuff, that's not grown-ass woman weight loss. That's toddler weight loss, and we're not doing that in my tribe. Ever. So if, like, don't join if you're going to be like, I really want to have a meal plan. No. You have like 1,000 other options out there. Thousands of diets out there to choose from. Go get some of that shit if that's what you want. But if you want to like really learn how to make a grocery list, how to go to the grocery store, and shit not wander into your cart because you're weak in your emotional tank. If you want like somebody to always have to spoon feed you food plans in order for you to be able to keep your shit straight, it's like, no, I'm not teaching that and I never will ever again. I've done that way back in the day, like 10 years ago. I don't like it. It doesn't teach people how to be responsible for themselves. And let me just tell you, don't sit there and be like, but I'm so confused about what to eat. You ain't confused about what to eat. This is your internal gut. If you weren't confused, what would be on that list? That's the stuff that I teach. Like, seriously, there's no confusion about bread. None of us are overweight because we eat whole grain bread or bananas or whatever y'all's flavor of the day is on what foods are like illegal. I don't even know. Like, I don't even keep up with the flavors of the day anymore because they're all bullshit. All of them. I just teach my clients, like, your body knows. Your internal gut is wise. And we will figure out what's right for you by trial and error. It's going to be old school. You're going to have to figure it out. But let me tell you, along the way, while you're figuring it out, you don't ever have to ask any of those questions again. And you never have to rely on someone else ever again to lose your weight. That's the point. If you want to quit slowing your weight loss down, you have got to, first and foremost, start making some decisions for yourself. Fast, not slow. We don't anguish. I tell my clients all the time, I bought a house and I gave myself 5 hours to decide. If I can buy a fucking house in 5 hours, I know you can decide what the hell to eat all day in 2 minutes. The next thing is identity crisis. We got to get rid of that. You got to start identifying with who you want to be, not with this version of you that you don't even like. Quit cozying up to her. If you don't like her, quit thinking about her. Period. And then the last one is your internal gut. You got to get it straight. You got to listen to your internal gut. If you know at a deep level that you are done with traditional dieting, like, it is time to get your mind right. You need to figure out why you overeat. You need to figure out, like, what are the foods that are going to be right for you? You need to figure out, like, how do I quit stuffing myself? How do I quit just, throwing my goals away because somebody brought free donuts in on a Friday? Like, you need to figure that stuff out. Your internal gut is telling you you should never start another diet that has a meal plan and all this other stuff holding your hand ever again. It should be about something that is going to help you figure out how to get your mental shit in order. That is my rant for the day. I didn't plan on this one being so ranty, but that is the ranty. Couple of announcements, and I'm going straight on into questions. Number one, guys, if you want to do the free training, you either need to be on the wait list over at pnptribe.com. Everybody is on the mailing list over there on the wait list. They're getting all the information. You also can go to Fit and Fat. So it's PHIT-N-PHAT / the word spring - replays. That page has everything you need on it. But if you're on the wait list, you'll get emails every time I release a new video. It'll be sent to you with the link and everything. So you don't even have to think about it. Also on Saturday, if you want to come to a free training, I'm going to be doing a free training, and it's a good one. It's the 3 keys to losing your weight for good. So I worked on it all last week. Sick proud of it, just saying. But I'm going to teach you the 3 main keys that I think that people need in order to think about, in order to do, so that they can lose their weight for the last time and not just like start some other bullshit diet again. What else do I have going on for you guys? Oh, if you are that free training, if you want to take that, it's going to be Saturday. What will that be? Like March. I got to pull up a calendar, y'all. Sorry. It's going to be March the 23rd at 10 a.m. Central Time. That page I was just telling you guys about with the spring replays, that's the link is right there. And if you're on that list, we will be sending you the link right to your inbox, so you don't have to worry about finding it or any of that kind of good stuff. And then the last thing is to make sure that you are listening to the podcast or taking the free course. So if you're brand new, there's a lot of new people here, I can tell. And by the way, guys, thank you so much for sharing. Y'all are always hitting that share button when I'm live. I see a lot of you like posting my videos on your own Facebook pages and all that kind of stuff. For all of you on Instagram who are following me over there, I really appreciate it. It's always humbling to me to see my work shared. I was at a big seminar this weekend, or this last weekend. It was Brendan Burchard's High Performance Academy. Actually, my tribe next month is getting taught one of the concepts where he talked about like why we either are taking action or half-ass, why we're afraid to take action, and why we're just not doing it at all, that kind of stuff. And I'm building them their monthly course. So if you join the tribe April 3rd, you'll actually get to go through this course while you're losing your weight. But it's all about helping you understand why you're not doing things, or why you're like kind of got a baby toe in, but not all the way. And how do you get to where you're just on fire with it? So we'll be that's our April course. Every month in PNP, we do a course together. And also listen to the podcast, Losing 100 Pounds of Fit and Fat. Woo woo. And then if you are wanting to do the free course, go to pnp411.com and you'll find the free course. Okay, let's do questions. That's enough of all that stuff. Hang on, let me get the questions up. Jennifer, how to keep on the wagon when you're really upset? Why do I eat like shit when I'm emotional? Because you're not dealing with your emotions. So when you're upset, the reason why you eat is because you think you can't handle it, or you're not thinking about your emotions. There's several components, but if you are unwilling to be upset and unwilling to examine, like, do I need to be upset? Yes or no? Is this a legit reason? Yes or no? Whatever that is, I know when I get angry now, I like to just tell myself like, yeah, I want to be angry right now, but I'm going to be angry. I'm not going to eat. Most of us, what we do is we get so upset, we just think this shouldn't be happening to me. This shouldn't be happening is always going to send you closer to overeating. Always. Because whatever is happening is happening. There's no shouldn't. That's like arguing something that's already happened. It's like, well, unless you're going to like somehow crank the world in reverse, that's the only way something shouldn't be happening. And none of us have that power, so we're hosed. So you want to make sure, like, the way to stay on the wagon is to start telling yourself there's never an emotional reason to eat, ever. And you have to practice that thought all the time. Like, when you're not angry is the best time, and you're not upset is the best time to work on that. Now, inside my tribe, what we do is we do a lot of like, you present the actual problem you're upset about. We don't just work with you on the food. What I want to do is I want to work with you on what's causing you to want to eat. We take that part away, all that like fear of being upset. We take away a lot of times, guys, y'all are upset for bullshit reasons. You don't even notice you're upset for a bullshit reason until someone points it out. It's just like, we have to just at some point start examining how we're choosing to look at the world. Like, we just think, like, a lot of us will just think our husband's an asshole. It's like, no, you have a husband. You have a lot of thoughts around your husband where you think he's an asshole and he shouldn't be doing things and stuff. You have to work on your relationships. That way you're not getting triggered by husbands. So that's the short of it. I'm going to Hawaii in June. How can I get in the mindset to enjoy the moment? Because all I think about is the fact that I'm over 300 pounds. Please help me turn around. Well, I mean, Terry, here's the thing. You have to start putting your mind to work on how you can enjoy your Hawaii trip. Like, your brain has to go to work on that. But now what it's working on is, oh my God, I weigh 300 pounds. This is going to be terrible. And then your mind is running wild with that. Every time it wants to do that, you got to shut it down. And you got to say, like, I would get, like, literally for you, and I tell people to do this all the time, get out a notebook, like a legit notebook, and I would write daily and answer the question, how can I enjoy my trip to Hawaii in June? Today, what do I want to focus on in terms of creating joy while I'm there? What am I not willing to think about between now and then? What am I not willing to think about while I'm there? You need to make that list. That is how you start telling your brain what to think about, what to focus on, and what to do. The brain's job is to just throw stuff at you all the time. Your job as a grown-ass woman is to take everything it's throwing at you and parcel it into the places it should go. Y'all gonna have to quit getting mad at your brain for thinking all the shit you've been allowing it to think for 30 plus years. It don't know no better. Quit getting pissed at it. Start getting to work on telling it what to do. And yeah, if you've had 30 years of shade talk, it ain't gonna fix because you did it for 6 days. Don't get frustrated. Oh my God, it's taking so much time. I don't give a fuck how long it's taken. My question is, you won't feel better or not? You willing to do this for 30 years? You are willing to think shit for 30 years. Why not think great things for 30 years until that becomes the norm? But y'all get all pissed because I ain't got my Facebook social media result happening. Y'all don't have to get over immediate results. That is not normal. We have to quit thinking that everything should happen on a dime. No, it will not happen on a dime. Most of life is not going to happen on a dime. Get over it. It's like, I heard something this morning while I was taking my Peloton class. Y'all know me, I love my Peloton. And for everybody that's following my back saga, it's so much better. Today is my official first completely pain-free day. And it barely bothered me yesterday. So I'm just super proud of myself for walking and doing recovery. All right, that was my shout out to me today. One of the things that they talked about is like, do you want to get there fast or you want to get there right? A lot of us can get places fast and come in and have learned nothing and don't know how to stay there. But it's like, we also can get there the right way. And then once we get there, we ain't ever gonna have to worry about all that weight coming back ever again. So it's the same thing like with your brain. It's not gonna be an overnight fix, rewiring the way you've thought for years and years and years. The fastest way to slow it down is to get pissed that it ain't happening fast enough. Same thing with your weight loss. The fastest way to jack your weight loss is to think it's not happening fast enough. Rather than thinking, this is the problem. When we go back to this whole idea of the internal gut, when you're not doing things sustainably, and then you think it's supposed to be happening fast, I want y'all to think about this. If you're setting yourself up for not enjoying how to lose weight, and I'm going to tell you, you can actually enjoy losing weight. I enjoyed the process. I teach people how to actually like the process. Ask my girls in here. I don't make them come. I do not make them come to public lives. They get me so much on the inside. But guess what? They love me. They come on these lives, and they will be the first ones to tell you, my life's better. My life is better. They're all happy with their weight loss, but they love their life more. And that's what we want to do. So it's like, if you're setting up your weight loss where you're so miserable and stuff, the first time that scale doesn't move, this will fly out of your mouth. What the fuck am I even doing this for? There's no payoff. Because you have no internal payoff. You are not practicing pride. You are not finding the life you want. You're not creating things that you love. That's what it will be for. That answer will be right there for you. But all of you that want to diet like an asshole, then the second the scale doesn't cooperate, you're like, just get me all the Snickers right now. Why am I even doing this? Why am I miserable for this? If you're enjoying the process and you love the idea of becoming a better version of you, that scale won't move. You may be frustrated, but you'll catch yourself. You won't be sitting there saying, why bother? You'll sit there and you'll be like, I know exactly why I'm bothering. Because next week it'll be better because I'm doing shit that feels so good. My life's leveling up. Everything that I'm doing is for me. You will not want to let that go all because the scale didn't move one week. All right. What is your ideal relationship between accountability partners? Not sure what we should be doing. This is Andra. Are you guys, I'm assuming, Kathy, if they're in the tribe and they note themselves as PNP tribe, make sure you tell me it's PNP tribe because I can't tell from your notes. I think one of the best things, like what I would do is listen to my stuff. You said the ideal relationship. The ideal relationship is for you guys to have a plan. To not just get on there and be like, hey girl, this is what I did today. Like y'all need to have a regular check-in of let's make sure we tell each other this is what I do with my accountability partner. Let's make sure we check in each day with our plan for the day so that we hold ourselves accountable. And then the next time we check in, we always make sure that we update. We either we're on or we're off. And then we have to explain why why. We either have to give ourselves a high five for being on plan, or we have to be like really honest about the reason why we weren't. And then we call each other out on stuff, and we have that relationship. If you are in the tribe, one of the things that I would make sure you're doing is listening to some of the Zoom calls together. Like choose the lessons each week that you guys want to listen to. I know y'all aren't going to listen to everything that I say every single week, but y'all might choose like, well, I'm listening to this video this week, or I'm in the middle of this course, I'm going to watch these videos. And then you guys talk about it. Think of it like book club. So a lot of the accountability groups inside of Tribe, what they do is they all pick calls that they're going to do, and then they meet in their group, and then they talk about it, what they learned and how. And here's the thing, for all my girls inside the tribe, you don't just pick what you learned and be like, oh, she's on fire, she's so good, here's what I learned. Preach. That's not good enough. I don't want no preach. I know how good I am. Ask Kathy, I tell myself all the time. What I really want you guys doing is telling each other exactly when and how you're going to do what you learned. Like exactly how and when you are going to do what you learned. That is what I want to see. So that's what I think is like some of the best ways for you in the accountability groups to do your work. I'm on my plan all day and get to about 4 or 5 and preparing kids' foods. I start taking a bite here and there. Last week I tallied all my bites and it was like, whoa, no wonder I'm maintaining. What's the best way to stop this craziness? You got to be really conscious about it. Like now that you've noticed it, then what I would do is every time you want to take a bite, put it on a plate, and before you're allowed to eat it, tally that shit up, and then be like, okay, I can have it if I want it, but it's going to be like, in the beginning, you're going to just want to do it. But the best way to stop it is to keep thinking about it, keep trying to put in little measures to like notice when you're doing it, and eventually it will be a behavior that will die out. It's not usually, though, we call that fog eating inside my tribe. It's usually not, it's just like mindless eating, right? It's one of those behaviors that's super unconscious, and you have to just like really practice finding tripwires to make it conscious again. Can I talk about MCT oil? I use it in my coffee. I would Google it. That's what I would do. I mean, it's, you know, I like it. I think it's good for joints and stuff, but I would just Google it. I sell it in my store. So if you go to kit.com, KIT.com/fitandfat, PHITNPHAT, you can order some. I use the Bulletproof brand, and I put it in my coffee in the mornings. Helps me go poop. Is satisfied when you sigh? Or the +2. Yes, I've been working hard on listening to the sigh. I've been so oblivious to it. Yeah, that's exactly what I call. So for all of you who don't know, I teach everybody to eat until they're satisfied, and you only eat when you're hungry. For a lot of us, me included, when I'm eating, I have a sigh. So it's like when I go, I know I'm done. That means no more room in the end. We're starting to lose a little room in the lungs. That's when I know I need to just stop eating. I don't need any more food at that point. Sleep just isn't in the cards right now. I have 2 toddlers and a full-time job. I get 6 hours on a good night, several nights. That's fine. I don't know what the question is, but that's fine. I just started your podcast 2 weeks ago. I love everything you say. I'm 4 months postpartum, breastfeeding, back down to my pre-pregnancy weight, but still need to lose 80 pounds. I was doing awesome last week, but my milk supply dropped drastically. I feel like I have to wait until I'm done nursing. No, you do not have to wait until you're done nursing. You need to drink more water. You need to eat just a little bit more. Your milk supply probably will not drop drastically if you just eat a little more, and you'll still be able to lose weight. Do not sit there and fall into some kind of weird ass trap that's not for you. Otherwise, you're going to just eat whatever and stuff. You just need to, rather than thinking it's not in the cards, you need to be thinking it's time to tweak. It's time to experiment. It's time to play with this. Here's the thing. Millions of women breastfeed and lose weight. You can be one of them. When you meal plan, do you make it just enough so you will be satisfied, or do you make more and just leave whatever you don't eat? I usually just make sure that I have plenty of what I would consider would normally be what I need. And then if I have a day where it wasn't enough, I add a little more. And if I have a day like from another meal, or if I have a day or I'll just eat some fruit afterward or something. Like we always have like some kind of like bonus food somewhere, like, you know, nuts or fruit or whatever. And if I'm eating and I'm like done, then I just throw the rest of it away. What about the mini meal approach so you don't go into starvation mode? There's no starvation mode. The mini meal approach is something that came up with protein companies and stuff wanting to sell shakes and whatnot. It's been debunked for a while now. There's actually a lot of science now around how that's actually not good for us. If you think about back in the like 40s, 50s, and 60s, and before, but like up until about the 60s when the like cereal companies and everybody started becoming a big deal, that's when the snacking started becoming more of a deal because food was more readily available. But prior to that, we ate 3 meals a day. And our metabolisms were amazing because we farmed and we walked everywhere because we didn't have cars and parking spaces right next to places and scooters and all that kind of stuff. Like people actually walked to the grocery store, got groceries, and carried that shit home. And they ate 2 to 3 meals a day. They also fasted because they ate dinner at 5:30 together and they didn't eat at night. You didn't see people sitting around eating at night back in the day. And then they ate breakfast the next day at like 6 or 7 o'clock. And now we call it fasting. They called it life. So there's like a lot of this stuff, guys. Quit reading that you need all these snacks and you got to eat a little bit. Your metabolism stands more chance of being violently damaged, slowed down, and wrecked by your overeating than it ever will by waiting until you're hungry and stopping when you're satisfied. When you are eating, when your body says, I don't need food right now, you're jacking your hormones and your metabolism. Like fucking it up royally. You might as well just punch it in the throat. That is, and what's so funny is that we hear like, oh, you better eat these little small meals, blah, 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 blah. And nobody says, hey, quit eating when you're not hungry. Your insulin is saying you don't need food. Your body, like when you're storing weight, it's saying, oh, by the way, there's a problem. I think you might be overeating. You're jacking our metabolism. We don't hear it that way, but we need to hear it that way. How do I shift my mindset from I'm over 300 pounds and I'm always trying to hide to enjoying life? You have to start looking for ways that you can enjoy life outside of your weight. Like one of the things that I have my girls do, I think we're doing it in this month's, it's called, we have this worksheet called the If Only worksheet inside the tribe. It's part, we have a, my flagship course, which is the one, like if you join the tribe on April 3rd, you're going to go through the No BS first. Then you're going to go through monthly courses and you get to pick any of my bonus courses. This month, what we're actually studying as a group is a deep dive into overeating itself. And so I have them do this If Only worksheet. And the If Only starts with, because one of the big things about overeating in order to get your shit straight, guys, is you have to think about, you have to like yourself now in order to lose your weight. It does not mean you have to like be like, oh, I'm amazing and all this other stuff. But you cannot lose weight successfully and keep it off if you're doing it from a place of hate or disgust. Like you have to learn how to be like, I'm worth this, not I need to do this because I'm worthless. And that's the biggest problem that I see. But I get it because I weighed 250 and it really wasn't until I decided I was worth the fight versus I'm so worthless, I need to do something. You can't expect to change things from a worthless state of mind. So it's a lot of like thinking about, you know, if only I believed in myself, I would be doing these things. If only I liked myself at this weight, I'd be doing these things. I'd be thinking like this. So that whole worksheet is around that. But that's what you can get started with. Just understanding that you have to condition yourself to be like, how am I going to do things today because I'm worth it? Versus, you know, what am I going to be doing today because I think I'm worthless? Because most of you, when you're thinking you're worthless, those two lists will be completely different. And that's why it's so important to show up for yourself mentally and to, when you're thinking negative thoughts, you have to be willing to get rid of them, or you have to be willing to be like, it's okay, you're here, but we're not going to get in the shit tub with you. What do you think the difference is between someone who is successful using the free course and the podcast versus someone who is successful and wants to join in the tribe? I think the biggest difference, there's a couple of differences. When you're in the groupies or when you're doing the free stuff, you're relying on yourself to like basically pull everything together yourself. So you're increasing your workload. When you're in the tribe, we just tell you what to do each week. Like, you're going to be listening to these lessons. We're going to focus on this. We're going to practice this skill. And you also have people that you can ask that are the experts. There's me. I'm in the tribe pretty much every day. I'm in the Facebook group, I would say at least 6 days a week. You can ask them. Oh, I'm in there. And then I do like Q&As and like the difference between my free stuff and being inside the tribe is it's very detailed. And then like we have calls around like one specific thing where I'm actually working live with someone. And so you get to resonate. The other big difference other than having coaches, like we have places inside the tribe where you actually can ask questions and get a response from a coach within 24 hours. So the other big difference is the true peer support. You are surrounded by people who are thinking and doing and talking the same things. And you are with highly motivated people. And you are inside a group of a lot of tribe members who have amazing experience who can help you. So there's like that community aspect. And then I guess the other thing is like, you know, I just put out the podcast and stuff. When you get inside the tribe, like if you want to work on self-love, there is a course just on self-love. And you get to deep dive into that. If you want to work on just your overeating and your binging, you have all the material that you need to just work on that. That'd be the biggest thing. And if you like events, you get to come to events. I only do the ones for the tribe members. If you can't attend at 11 a.m. Saturday, can we watch on replay? Yeah, Michelle, there'll be a replay. There's also going to be a second live broadcast. So if you go to that spring-replays page on fitandfat.com/spring-replays, you'll see I'm going to be doing it again next week. I hear so much that if we're eating too little, your body thinks it's starving. No, I already debunked that. What advice can you give on consistency? I'd get consistent. I have started this journey a million times, and after 2 months, I fall off and have to start over again. I'm tired of starting over. Yeah, you need to brainstorm the 2-month part then. What most of us do is like, you know what the problem is. The problem's going to hit you at 2 months. So you need to be like war gaming that when you first start. Here's my plan for in 2 months. And you need to make sure, usually what I worry about when somebody says that 2 months they peter out, they're starting plans that for the first 2 months were never truly realistic for them. You just happen to be the kind of person that runs out of the willpower and all that kind of stuff at 2 months. The other thing is that a lot of times people peter out when motivation and excitement wears off. And what I teach in the tribe, we have a whole lesson on this, is the lesson is called When the Shit Gets Real. Like, how do you keep showing up when it's not near as fun and as exciting as it was when you first joined? Because most of weight loss is going to be just normal. It's not going to be a bunch of like, hoorah! It's not going to be all that. You have to get good at just doing life. That's the key. How important is exercise and weight loss? I tell people it's not that important when it comes to the weight loss. Now, exercise is amazing for your physiology, for your health, for your mental clarity. You know, it's not bad for you. But when it comes to weight loss, I think it's way better for you guys to never put your eggs of your weight loss in the basket of exercise. I see more problems with that than I ever see people it being beneficial. Now, if you exercise and it's motivating for you to eat better, then that is something that works for you. But if you exercise to be able to eat more or to make up for and all that kind of stuff, that's where I start seeing the problems. So when it comes to exercise, just tell people, just pick something you like. It's the best advice I've got. I exercise every day. Even on my days off, I usually will do a walk. I will call someone and walk and talk. I love like movement. But I love movement, and that's why I do it. It is not so that I look a certain way or anything. I always listen to your podcast. It's a beautiful habit. What other podcasts do you listen to? Well, I have some good ones. So let me pull up my phone. Since I'm not on it, I can actually do that today. I will read you off some of my podcasts. I listen to, let me go to shows. That'll be the easiest way to do it. So I listen to The Brendan Show. In fact, I listened to 2 of those this morning. That one is really good for like productivity and performance. And if you love business, especially because he talks about business and tying your purpose to it. But if you also want to just understand like how to have more joy in life and stuff, it's a good one. That is the conference that I just got back from. I also listen to the Tony Robbins podcast. I love that one. I listen to Take a Break with Rachel Hart. That's a drinking podcast. But she and I are master certified together. And we also have, we're in the same like little like independent coaching group. She has an amazing podcast. So whether or not you drink or not, hers is really good. And a lot of my tribe members love her. She just has an amazing way of just explaining the same concepts I do without getting all like wobbing your grill and stuff. I also listen to The One Thing. That's a lot. I listen to a lot of productivity ones. And I love the Gary Vee podcast. Now that's more of a business one, but oh my gosh, he is inspiring. I think it's great. I listen to Lewis Howes. I also, for business, listen to Amy Porterfield, Online Marketing Made Easy. She's great. I happen to know Amy, and I like if you're wanting to be an entrepreneur and stuff, I think she has probably the best podcast out there. Not just because I know her. I was huge fan, huge everything with Amy before I even got to know her. So, and I know how hard she works on her podcast. Let's see. Can you talk about the personal coaching in the tribe? Yeah, so we do group coaching. It's kind of like this. So we do calls, like we mix it up. So a couple times a week is me in the Facebook group doing things like this where everybody's asking questions, but we answer all the questions on the ones that are inside the tribe. And then we also have what we call the weekend motivator, where I come in and I like teach a small bites lesson each week of like specific things that you need to do in order to, either have an amazing weekend on plan, something like that. What I do is I go through the tribe to see what everybody was talking about for the week, and I try to find a common theme. So that's like our weekend motivator. Then I do at least 2 coaching calls a week. So what I do is I come on, we use an app called Zoom. It's like video conferencing. And every month we allow all the people to all my openings, people can sign up. All right. Then I come on and then everybody attends, but you can't see each other. So I want you to imagine like we're doing it just like this, but I would call on someone who's wanting to get coached. So I would call, let's say, on Susie, and Susie would come on, and then she and I would coach together, and everybody would benefit from me helping her solve her problem. So, and people can bring anything they want. I coach on everything. That's the difference. It's like, it can be about weight loss. It can be about maybe your husband's had an affair. I mean, I coach everything. I've literally coached everything at this point. I can't even imagine somebody could tell me something. I'd be like, what? I mean, like I have coached it all from extreme trauma all the way to, well, I can't get my 24-hour plan done. I mean, like it is all the way. And then we archive all of those calls so people can watch them at any time. The other thing that we do is every Monday is always an educational day. And so it's either me coaching, me teaching a workshop, like where I've like planned something ahead of time. Like we do it on the first Monday of every month, or we do a video where we actually have tribe members send in not testimonials, but we send them questions like, tell us your top 3 tips on how to make sure you get your work done this week in tribe. Tell us your best tip for losing weight this week. Give us your whatever. And then we compile that video so that you can watch it. So we do a lot of that. Now, we have a lot of content. So do not think you have to watch everything that comes out of my mouth. We have a private member podcast. So what most of our girls do is they don't come to all the live things. I just offer them live so that people have different time zones, different days. fits with lots of schedules and stuff, but you won't attend all of them live. And I have girls that never attend live, ever. They're just like, I'm not going to attend live. I'm going to listen always in my car, or I'm always going to be listening when I'm doing my life. So we just upload everything to the private member podcast, and people do a lot of just listening that way. But yeah, and then I answer questions in the Facebook group. So if people have questions, I answer questions in there. There's just, plenty of it to go around. That's how we do the coaching. We're very hands-on, I will say. We're very hands-on. I was feeling great. Then a picture was snapped of me and it made me feel like crap. How do I change the thought around about the picture? Well, the first thing you have to realize is the picture didn't make you feel like crap. You saw a picture, you had crappy thoughts, and then you felt crappy. So you want to make sure you really understand that, because a lot of times people think that things are causing them to feel stuff. It's like, no, things happen, and then we always apply thoughts. You need to ask yourself first and foremost, what did I think about that picture? That will explain why you felt crappy. Then you need to think, like, what do I want to be thinking about that picture? What is a way to think a little bit better? It does not have to be amazing. It just doesn't need to be that thought. So we teach a course called Selflove inside of Tribe. It's a self-paced bonus course. And one of the things we have is a whole week spent on selfies and how to create a relationship with pictures for yourself. And one tip that we give in there is that when you see pictures, you make a habit of every single time that before you look, you remember the experience you were having, and you are not allowed to look at you first. You have to look at everything going on around you before you look at you. That will at least minimize you making that moment mean everything about your body, and you remember that it is about the experience you were having first. Now, then if you want to look at your body and you don't like what you're seeing, then you can say, like, okay, I'm working on this. I'm working on this. Would it be possible for you to do a Facebook Live on self-love? That's my biggest challenge. I'm so fucking mean to myself. Katrina, mine are like that every week. You just need to be listening to when I say stop thinking that, I literally mean stop thinking that. Like every time you're fucking mean to yourself, you have to stop thinking that. There's no benefit to you continuing it. Remember earlier in the call when I said you have to quit getting frustrated that you're still thinking those things? That's step one for you. Step one is quit getting upset that you're thinking that way. Be okay with the idea that those thoughts come in and that you're a grown-ass woman and you get to decide how you think. So you need to make a shit list. Here's things I think about myself. And then you need to have an arguing for myself list. Here's the stuff I want to, here's the truths I want to start telling myself. And then you're going to have to practice that. You don't get to just sit around and hope for the best or feel sorry for yourself because you think that way. That's not working. You're already doing that now. It sucks. So do what I say, which is the hard part. Telling yourself really nice things about yourself, even when you don't believe them yet, and you keep doing it, even when you think it's not going to work. That's when you're really working. Corinne, for those of us with spouses, knowing how important support at home can be, have you done a podcast with Chris to talk about supporting each other in family life with the changes in our thinking that improves our relationships? No, I haven't, Julie. I have begged Chris to be on the podcast. He has no interest in being on the podcast. He is not a front and center person like I am. He may change his mind one day, but he just, that's not his comfort zone. He comes to camp on the party night. We have 4 camps a year for just the tribe members. He'll come on party night, and on party night, he'll usually talk to the girls there. And he often stays up till 1:30 in the morning, and he has private conversations with them. A lot of times he'll get on the stage and he'll say, he'll tell everybody how important everybody is to our family. Because, and I don't want to cry, so I'm not going to go into detail, but all of you are very important to our family. Not only my tribe members, just the whole, Chris and I just feel like we're trying to just change lives. I asked him the other day, about his purpose, because I know what my purpose is. My ultimate purpose is I want to help women believe in themselves, because not all of us have that. And I just feel like if you like, the first step in getting what you want out of this life is just believing in you. And so like, I want to teach that. And so I asked him what his purpose was. And his purpose, he said, was to take his unique skill of just being able to understand complex things, because he's very, very smart. You guys, if you knew my husband, he tests like top 1% in the world, and you would never know it. He's so understated, but he's such a fucking genius. I mean, he just is the smartest, most caring person I've ever met in my life. And he said, I just want to take what I'm so good at, and I'm blessed to have, is that ability to take complex things and put it into a format that anybody can understand. And a lot of that is like with our tribe, he does a lot of tech stuff for us. You know, like he's always trying to figure out a way for me to be able to get my message out to the girls in an easy way, so that no one's ever not losing weight because of tech or because of, you know, whatever. And, you know, and he supports my harebrained ideas and stuff. But I think for you, just knowing what I understand that with Chris and I, and when it comes to support, that I always want to tell you guys to be cautious, like to caution yourself on, is having support at home is nice, but it's not required to achieve your dreams. A lot of you are making it a requirement that the people in your life love you a certain way in order for you to lose weight. You're never going to lose your weight that way. You need to make it a requirement that you love yourself enough to do it alone, so that if you get any external support at all, it just helps. Like, I really think that's important, because no one in your life is ever going to be as emotional and as invested and as like impactful as what goes on between your ears, ever. You spend all of your time creating the support that goes on between your ears, and the rest of it doesn't matter anymore. Like, when you get it, it's icing on the cake. When you're not getting it, you have compassion that they just don't understand where you're at, because you're so good about taking care of yourself. But a lot of you need to break the chain of thinking that having support at home is absolutely required. I think that if you need external support and you don't have it, you don't get to sit around and feel bad for yourself. That sucks. That's going to get you nowhere. You get two things you do. One, you notice that if you are so upset about other people not supporting you, that means that you are not doing it 150% for yourself yet. So you still got work to do on you, so don't waste your time over here. And number two, you go find supportive people. You do not have to like kick the other ones to the curb. Your group is out there. You have to find them, and you might have to go through a few people, but it's on you to find them. Like somebody asked earlier, the difference between like groupies and tribe. I collected people for you. I've been collecting for a long time. You will not have to look hard in there. We will find you a group. Hell, we have a damn post every Monday in Facebook that says accountability post. Who needs a group? Who needs a partner? People post. People go in and go, oh, we'll scoop you up. And if you get missed, then I got to marry Joe. If y'all ever watched Avengers, where Robert Downey Jr. says, like they're talking about like what all they got. He's like, we got a Hulk. I'm like, I got to marry Joe. She will find someone. I literally have someone that I have who's just dedicated, and her job is to make people feel special and loved. That's all I have her do. Like, that is really her job. Because I think it's important. If you're going to have a movement and women are going to believe in themselves and people are going to feel supported and their weight loss journey is going to be easy, then you better have somebody who's good at making people feel loved. I'm good at bitching. I'm good at creating course content. And I'm also good at putting the right people in the right places. And I got to marry Joe. So there you go. The cost for Tribe, and this is the last question, guys. It's going to be $289 to join, $59 a month. The $59 does not kick in until after the first 30 days. And of course, you can cancel anytime. It's all up to you. You can stay as long as you want, though. I always tell people, I'm not going to kick you out. Stay as long as you want. And a lot of people do. I have a very loyal tribe, very amazing tribe. All right, listen to the podcast. It'll be out this Friday, and it'll be out Saturday. This Facebook Live will be on the Saturday one, Losing 100 Pounds of Fit and Fat. If you've not taken the free course, please do so. PNP411.com. Click the big button, free course. It's really good, guys. I have some videos for you that I send. It's motivational. It tells you exactly how to get started. And then you get a little workbook that walks you through just a few simple exercises so that you're on a plan. And then if you want to follow me for the free month of training, you need to go over to fit.phat.com/spring-replays. And you can follow along, or we'll send you emails and remind you of everything that's going on. And get on the wait list, pnptribe.com. Opening April 3rd. It's going to be amazing. We will not open again until late June. So if you're wanting to lose your weight, do like I said in step 1, be decisive. Guys, don't sit around in anguish whether or not you should join or not. Just make a fucking decision. I always tell people, give yourself the gift of decision. You're either in or you're out. If you're 40% sure that this is what you need, you should do it. If Jeff Bezos can run Amazon on that philosophy, I'm for fuck sure thinking that we can decide about weight loss that way. So just give yourself gifts of decision. That's the best gift I ever give myself, and I want it for you. Y'all have a good one. Bye, y'all.